Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's episode, and actually the first episode of the Static Room. I am your host, RCXIsaac, also known as the Reverse Card, also known as Isaac, also known as Puppy Monkey Baby. Puppy Monkey Baby. Yes, I do that old joke back because today we are joined by a very old man. I met him in a retirement home. He
Okay,
was in a
okay.
wheelchair. He was standing right next to Steve Urkel's great grand father.
Oh, that's
He
funny.
is.
That's funny.
It's Jackson Steiner. Jackson, how you doing?
Well, let me tell you something, Isaac. I'm doing pretty fucking good today. Um, well, I'm a little upset. Today I was supposed to be on UWI Premiere, but my internet was just messing up today, man. Like, I had 3 FPS. 3 FPS, dude. I couldn't do the show. But yeah, besides that, I'm doing all right, man. Thanks for having me on the first episode of the pod, man. I'm excited.
I am too, and let's just jump straight into it. So, I remember meeting you in a federation I'm not gonna name because drama and whatever. But I met you there.
Well, we can talk about it. We can talk about it.
Yeah, we can talk about it. It's dead anyways. So I met you at IBW. I came
Of course,
in.
everybody remembers where that's at.
Yeah, of course. It's one of the top 10 best federations, right next to realistic WWE. Yeah. Um, but basically, I remember meeting you there. First of all, let me just disclaimer. That is a joke. All right. Because some people will stop the video right now and try and cancel me. But I met you
Cancel.
there, and we pretty much. I feel like from there, it was a very short click, but we worked together in that time, and then somewhere along the line, we both found a connection, which was pretty much the mutual agreement that the owner of that company didn't know what the heck he was doing. And I was getting frustrated because
And
I was getting frustrated because I was deving for him and all my stuff that I dev for him got hacked or something got leaked or it was just annoying, and I guess you kind of had your opinions on it too.
and now he's my fucking bitch. He works for me now.
Yeah, yeah, karma. Uh, but yeah, I remember that, and I remember us talking in private with someone else. I literally he's in his own world right now, living his life the best way he can. But it was me, you, and someone else. I don't remember the name, but they worked for IBW too. And I remember
I'm
us
not
all.
sure, but I have a good feeling it's the guy that we're working with right now on that project with A's. Zach the Saint, that guy.
I don't know, to be honest. Maybe, maybe not. But either way, um, I
Cause,
talked to you, and we kind of
cause,
just all agreed, yeah, we're not doing this anymore. And pretty much we had plans of starting our own promotion in defense of in offense of his, but that never happened. I still have the shirt, which I never wear, and it's all cool because I got to start P25. You're now on Roblania. I'm now writing for Roblania. It's just everything worked out at the end.
yeah, but no disrespect to Mason. That's who we're talking about.
Hmm.
Also known as whatever his name is now. I don't know. Mason Ryder. I don't know, whatever
Yeah.
he's calling himself. But Mason, he works for the Steiner section. He's helping us get news and stuff now. He's a very likable guy. Although I have my opinions about him, he's a nice guy. Tries to be friendly. But yeah, as you were saying.
Yes, that is all fair points. But from there, I re-met you from Roblania. because when we met and we were talking from like a work standpoint, so we never really got to like communicate or get a like click. But
Yeah,
then we moved to when you were doing the Steiner section for Roblania, and I was starting
still there.
P25, and we once again rejoined and talked, and we got the connection back, and that's when we became close friends, and you started, you joined the P25 group, and I always supported the Steiner section, still support the Steiner section. Um, but yeah, how is it working in Roblania?
I'll tell you what, man. I met I met the man Ashton Vontavious Porter, otherwise known as Ashton A's.
Dang, we're getting real. All right, getting real
Back
unrestricted
in
here.
2019. What'd you say?
Oh, I was saying that we're getting real unrestricted here with the whole government name. Sound like a black mom about to tell a kid what they
Well,
did
that's not
wrong.
that. I'm not sure if that's his
Fair point. You're
real
right.
name or birth name, but
Fair point. But
yeah, I met him in
continue.
2019. I joined his Fed RWI, and from there we've had a really good friendship. Um, and this past fall, he approached me about doing a show on Roblania called the Steiner Section, and I was pretty into it. And yeah, ever since then, Ash has works his ass off on the Steiner Section. By the way, he edits the videos. He got all the news for the past 13 episodes.
That's
And
something I really wanted to key
yeah,
point. How much Ash works hard. Like, you would have thought for him doing UWI, for the amazing production there, for everything that's going on in Roblania, for his collaborations with all these federations, and like him documenting like almost every major promotion, you would think he has some high HQ. He's in the top floor with a bunch of staff like minions typing on computers, you know, in with his
that's
crazy
not
psychotic scientist working on other
that's not.
like things.
But up until maybe a month and a half ago, Roblania only had two employees, basically me and a man by the name of Spartan Castaway, who
Yes, I
is
wanted to talk
very,
about Spartan
very
too.
loved in the community. He makes very, very good stages. He's a very
And
good developer.
he owns WWS.
Yes, check out WWS.
Shout out to WWS and Spartan Castaway and Castaway Productions.
But yeah, I enjoy
Yeah,
working for Roblania. Ash is
I
a really good man.
mhm. I just joined in, and I have to give you a big amount of gratitude because you're the one who was like, man, you should come and work for Roblania, and you pretty much set it up for me to be able to talk with Ash and get to do my little demo of writing, and then I became a writer for Roblania, and I owe it to you. So even with that, it's just like it's insane to think how we went from working for a company that had like all the works of being a high promotion, but then fell short because of because basically none of us, well, not none of
Mason
us,
had everything.
not none of
He had
us.
he had everything in the palm of his hand. Dude, he had D-Pain and Luke Cena compete on a card, on the same card on the same night.
Now, Luke Cena, that's what got me shocked. Because if anyone knows anything about Luke Cena, we all know Luke Cena and Han Show and whoever else, they are strong. If you can get them to even attend one of your shows, you are somewhat of a master at something. You are a great individual. And if you're able to
I
get
keep
them to
I
even
keep
like
hearing people
join the
say
show.
People keep calling it a big deal if Luke Cena or Honcho or D-Pain show up to your Fed. I'm gonna be honest. I've talked to all three of those men personally, and they just go to Feds if they're bored because they have nothing better. They have a lot of things better to do. I don't mean to say anything
I've
disrespectful,
never talked
but
to D-Pain or I've talked to Hancho, but basically that was more like advice stuff. I've talked to Luke during the days of Star Team Wrestling, like in 2016, 18. But like Luke is a very down to earth guy. They don't look at their position like some people in today's modern pro wrestling society. They look at if they're popular, like if they're popular enough to have Roblania or Castaway making a Tron anime like YouTube video for them with their whole theme song, if they're able to be like booked or they can say they were in the same room doing stuff for APRW, some people get really cocky and they just start going, "Yeah, I'm the best in here. Woo! Nobody can own up to me." But that's never was the case for any of the rest of them. And some people like you're a star in indies in like underground. Like if you said I am this person in this federation, like if you said I am one of the legends of RGCW, everyone's gonna go cricket, cricket, cricket. Because the only connection you can get to that is Dollar Omega and his connection from AEW with Alex Wonder. But if you connect, but when you look at Luke's resume speaks for himself. D-Pain's resume speaks for himself. Honcho's resume speaks for himself, and they're never like being cocky. They're never saying they're the best, even though maybe in their heart they feel that way. So big props to them. Shout out to them.
I know this comment is a little bit off topic, but we were talking about the Steiner section earlier, and I've had 5 people DM me personally and tell me that they had no idea who Stax Nitro was before I reported on him on the Steiner section. And now they're like, his biggest fan, basically.
The Steiner section, forget the Steiner section. Anyone whose face is connected with Roblania, like if you can say for me, like I can be like, yeah, I'm the writer for Deep Dive on Roblania. Cool. But a lot of people like federations, like if someone said they're gonna start a fed and they were unknown and Roblania highlights them, they're gonna get a lot of props because a lot of people watch Roblania. And
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, Isaac.
Go ahead.
Did you have any idea who Omni Orton was before you started tuning into RWI or Roblania Studios on YouTube?
Actually, yes, I did because he was because my first ever match coming out of retirement since 2018, not 18, since 2017, me coming out of retirement from there, he was my first ever match coming out of retirement from 2017. In UDW when Prince, I think it Prince Zero who was owning it at the time.
I am unaware.
I don't know. The person who was holding it for Jesse, aka Origin CA, for those who don't know.
Well, listen, all I'm saying is Ash Ace and Roblania put Omni Orton on the map. Roblania and Ash Ace put Ethan Saber on the map. Guys like Ethan Saber. Heck, guys like Max Blackout and Travis Mysterio. Fucking Blitz Jordan. And I don't care if he denies it or not, but we put fucking Chris Rage on the map.
Preach.
We put all these guys on the map.
That's the magic that Roblania did. And I really respect Ash for his way of growing Roblania. Because Roblania started as a production. It started off as like arena making, title making. And from there, he grew that amount of respect and amount of like people interested in it that Roblania started becoming the look Everyone wanted their stuff. If you had a stage or arena or something that came from Roblania, you could go, bam, that's a great Fed. Bam, they have
If you don't
cool
believe,
stuff.
if nobody watching this podcast believes me when I say that we put all of these stars on the map, go back on Roblania's YouTube channel. Go back 10 months ago and watch the Final Shot Rumble from RWI. Go watch the Final Shot Rumble, because that pay-per-view put a lot of people on the map that night, in my best opinion.
Yes, and you know what else? If you don't believe that Roblania has that ability, please, someone, raise your hand in the chat or whatever, because this is being premiered. Raise your hand in the premiere chat if you ever knew who, and this is with all due respect to you, Jackson, if you knew who Jackson was, if you knew who I was before Roblania, and I'm not saying that I got to a level where everyone's looking at me from Roblania, but even just simply me having the credit as writer or someone who works with Roblania, it's like, as soon as that connection came in, like from the day I got ranked inside of the Roblania Discord, I got like 10 messages from someone, like pretty much being like, "Hey man, what's up?" I'm like, how do you know me? It's like, "Oh, I know you from Roblania." I haven't been on one episode of Roblania. I haven't even started writing anything for Roblania. I'm literally behind the scenes doing work in progress right now. So yeah, Roblania really elevates people to levels, and that's why I have a high amount of respect for A's, because like, people don't understand what developers and what producers and what people like us have to go through. They don't understand, like, especially developers. They don't understand the feeling of people going, "Hey, do you make this?" They don't understand the stress of like having 15 people coming at you like all the time talking about, "Where's this? Where's this? Where's this? Where's this?" Relax. You know, so I give a hand clap to Roblania and A's and everyone and you for pretty much making, Ro wrestling interesting while people are claiming it's dying. And that's something I wanted to talk to you. I am great at segues. That's something I wanted to talk to you about, where, pretty much, what is your opinion on when people are saying that Ro wrestling is dying? I know Ace has expressed this on Roblania on Deep Dive. I express this every day, but I wanted to hear your opinion on it, Steiner.
Any person who says Pro Wrestling is dying, it's their own fault for Pro Wrestling dying, okay? If you have the ability to go on Twitter and complain to all of your to your 15 followers, and then get a shit ton of retweets for no reason, saying that Pro Wrestling is dying, you cannot Pro Wrestle. You can Pro Wrestle, but you are the problem. Playing your part,
Yeah.
because Pro Wrestling is not dying just because of bad Fed owners. It's still Pro Wrestlers too. Toxicity could kill Pro Wrestling, but Pro Wrestling is not dying, in my opinion. In my opinion, Pro Wrestling is one of the hottest things it's ever been. Roblania, it's popping. A shit ton of federations are getting a lot of more people coming. You got new federations coming in like UWI and LNW. Heck, the OWA is showcasing such great federations you can go to. I mean, Pro Wrestling is at the peak of its everything right now, and we need to take advantage of that.
I agree. And with people saying Ro wrestling is dying, I don't believe it's dying, because Ro wrestling, like, Ro
And it
wrestling,
will be
pretty much the latest, the earliest of Ro wrestling goes all the way back to 2011. 2011, 2010, those were when Ro wrestling started. when clean pro wrestling started around 2012 and 13, and like when people started growing slowly from, federations that if I were to name right now, no one would even understand what was going on then. Like federations like ICW, federations like SNL, as controversial as it was, like we have gone from a point where people were using you remember those like touch to give things, that little square, the rectangle like box thing that had the little white thing that when you touched it
Oh
gave you a
god, those
tool.
were the worst.
Yeah, we've gone from that to not even using admin. We've gone from using a GUI, pressing a button right next to a button that will teleport someone to the ring. So you don't need to bring them. They don't need to walk, jump over the barricade and get in. You don't have to worry about people abusing powers anymore. We've elevated. We've gone from bare
Yeah.
minimum. We've gone from bare minimum to like the highest of highs. Did you see WrestleMania? The Roblox WWE WrestleMania? A dude came out on a dragon. Granted, it Roblox and lag didn't allow it, and it was a high spike, but came out of a dragon, flew down from a dragon. The dragon was making noise, drone like LEDs blasting, pyrotechnics, there was light beams going around, all this going on without a touch of lag. And we are still being told that Row Wrestling is dying. We are still being told that sooner or later, nothing here is gonna matter because the community is gonna kill it. Well, newsflash, the trademark, knock, 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 ding dong, hello. You are the community. You are the people who control where Row Wrestling is. You control if it's in the high standard or the low standard. From the beginning of it all, we always placed it as a high standard. And if Row Wrestling is
If you
so
think pro
bad,
wrestling is dying, if you think pro wrestling is dying, then do something about it. Go
thank
create your own
you.
fucking bed. Go do your own rules. Go change the game like UWI is doing it. We don't do fucking tag teams anymore. We call it the duo division. Go do something like that. Be innovative like that. Try to make sure that pro wrestling isn't dying instead of complaining on Twitter.
if you if anyone has ever said anything that is under the lines that Row Wrestling is dying, you truly haven't been paying attention. You are looking
Luke,
at the pool of people. You are looking at the pool of people who choose to destroy the company. And I know we're gonna do something on this, so I don't want to say too much. But you are looking at the realistic WWEs. You're looking at the dramas. You're looking at the whole thing with wars. You're looking at the people who believe just because they can fight well, they can say whatever they want to say. That is what you're looking at. You're looking at the people who make it hard for you to enjoy Row Wrestling. I'm looking at the people who are developing, who are working every single day to make sure that Row Wrestling is amazing, to make sure it is at the top of its standard. I am looking at the people who are like Alex Wonder. I'm looking at Alex Wonder. I'm looking at Ace. I'm looking at, Jackson. I'm looking at some federations that if I were to say their names, you wouldn't know, but most likely. But some of them, for those who do know it, big pops. There's people going there all the time. Federations like EWE, UWI, like you said, federations who are just changing the game. Like alliances, DWA, the Digital Wrestling Alliance, all these companies, Unlimited Roblox Wrestling, a lot of companies that are coming together and just creating a new form. Roblox AEW, Alex Wonder. You're looking at all these companies that are coming together and just changing the way we see Pro Wrestling and, developers even. DB Tech, Kids Rocks, everybody who has ever put any sign of effort into road wrestling, put in any sign of like effort into how we do things, you are the ones making the change. And if no one is going to acknowledge that and just look at the road wrestlers who are treating this all and are abusing it, who are who are coming out of APRW and bringing the wrong mentality, who are presenting to the new people who are coming, you are reflecting to an amazing company, a historic company. Your reflection to it is simply put, this is the way things will always be because we want to run this town. You are so caught up in being the best that you will choose to break other people down, and that's where that portion of Row Wrestling is dying. If you truly believe that Row Wrestling is dying, it is because it is of your own thought. You should never look at someone said this amazing quote. Someone said, if you ever look at something and you see it's not wrong, but you say absolutely nothing, your life in that scenario will weigh to absolutely nothing. So if you are gonna look and say that Row Wrestling is dying while you're sitting there just going, Row Wrestling's dying, I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna escape before it kills me with it. I'm out of here because there's no hope anymore. And every federation I go to, there's somebody wrong. Do something. Change it. Don't blend in. There's so many people who will be around this. I hate this word, but I have to say it because it's the only word everyone understands. Toxic communities, people are so revolved around those communities to the point that at the end of the day, you have become bleached in it. You're absorbing every wrong thing that shouldn't be said, and you're turning it to your own character. You're making it you. When you see something wrong, you're not supposed to become it. When something's not right, you don't just go, well, that's how things are. Okay. Time to be rude, disrespectful, evil, and hurt somebody's life, hurt someone's careers. And I know when I say hurt someone's life, I know what you're looking at me and you're going, people are actually finding value in a digital game. Yes, the same way people were breaking their fingers playing Friday Night Funkin' is the same way people can find excitement playing a digitalized wrestling game. And I hate to off track the guest right now, Jackson Steiner, but that whole conversation, whenever that conversation comes in hand, I just go off and I just say what I feel about it. And just at the end of the day, if you see something wrong going on, do something about it and don't just sit there and be, it's about to die, might as well just let it die. No, don't do that. It's just dumb.
I agree 100%. But I'm just not gonna. I really don't want to talk anymore about how people think Row Wrestling's dying. It's just gonna really trigger me because, it does trigger me.
Yeah.
Because, especially, I'm glad A's made the video. It was a very good video. I recommend everybody go to Roblania Studios and watch A's deep dive on if Row Wrestling is dying.
Yes.
So yeah.
Matter of fact, I'll put like a snippet of it so people can get like the preview of some of the key points he said. But let's move on from that whole catastrophe of a conversation. You are a blueprint for Row Wrestling personality. You are a personality for Roblania. You're a personality that represents Row Wrestling because your voice, at least, is being, put and projected on the platforms that we know of. And I think that's something very cool. I think it's very cool that you are a part of this history, and I just think it's amazing. How do you feel being considered as a personality, or like a idol, or someone who represents pro wrestling, when a few years, not even a few years, a few months, weeks ago, you were just like anyone else?
You know, it's funny because I've been doing this for 10 years and I've gone to places I've have never dreamed of before, and that's because I wasn't with the best of the best. But today's generation is the best of the best, and I do not feel overshadowed by by these new talent, because they are the true blueprint of what's next and what's to come of the future. Because we have these alliances, we now have agreements between federations by joining these alliances. Like, we're starting to really come together as a community, and that's what's beautiful about it. Now, as me saying I'm a personality or something, all I do is the Steiner section. I report on the news that's given to me by my incredible boss. I do not work very hard on the Steiner section. Ash does essentially everything. I'm just given a script and I talk in a microphone. But I guess some would say I am the voice, but in a sense, everyone else is the true voice. And if we could just, there's a lot that needs to be done to fix this path, and I'm pretty sure we're getting close.
That is a very amazing statement to say. And even with like the bare minimum, just you representing Row Wrestling in such a way is just incredible. You've been able to do so much and see so much in the 10 years, as you said, that you've been in Row Wrestling. You got to see firsthand, the whole thing of the drones being sent out for WrestleMania, for Roblox, WWE. You've seen a lot, and it's amazing to think that this all is like connected with you, and like even just as simple as you doing the bare minimum, being on, a platform where you're given a script to speak, that's enough. Your voice is enough to represent Row Wrestling and project it. And I think that is a great spot for us to close on this little podcast here. Some episodes.
One thing, real quickly, I don't want to represent Road Wrestling. If anything, I just want to bring Road Wrestling back together to the olden days, back in 2016, in 2015, you know?
Yeah,
And
those were
even
some
feds
fun
back
days.
then, some great feds that are still going on to this day, like JWWE. I fucking love JWWE. I respect the hell out of both of them. I'm a former champion there. I love JC Jonathan. Alex Miles, he's a ugly bitch, but it's whatever. Yeah. Thanks for having me on the podcast.
Yeah, but let's end it on this note. If you had any message you would like to leave to the listeners, and
Huh?
anyone, if you had a message you would like to leave to the listeners and people who represent, Row Wrestling, and the people who are on the front lines, what would you say to them?
Don't rely on others. If anything, I think what's best for you is the people who are telling you what's good for you. And that's my honest truth, because last year, whenever I just joined RWI, I had no career direction really. Ash A's he gave me a new attire. I got a Tron made, a new theme song, a really good theme song, and no one's gonna figure out what the fuck it is, even though some already know. But I'm never giving it to him because it's a really good theme. And he gave me direction. I got my own talk show on RWI Knockout, and called the Steiner section, ironically. And that's how some people really knew me in RWI. And then it just carried over to Roblania, and now I'm where I'm at today. And I have to thank Ash Chase for that. So what I'm trying to say is, some people do know what's best for you. You really don't know. Some people are idiots in this community. I'm gonna be blunt. I'm gonna be honest. People are idiots, but that's why we have such great people to help them in this community, and that's where I think Road Wrestling will possibly succeed, and to help with all these idiots. I'm Jackson Steiner.
As he said, that's Jackson Steiner, and that is the first ever episode of the Static Room. I have been the reverse card, aka RCX, aka Every
Hey,
Monkey Baby.
you can catch the Steiner section every weekend on the Roblania Network. And I'm sorry, shameless plug. You can also catch UWI Wednesdays 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, I guess that's all I have to say.
Yep, and thank you so
Shout out
much,
Ethan
Jackson.
Saber. Shout out Ethan Saber.
Yeah, shout out Ethan Saber, shout out SAs, shout out Roblania. Go to their YouTube channel, link in the bio, and
Shout out Jefferson
subscribe.
Williams.
And I think with that, pretty much that's it. Thank you for watching, and as I always say, long live Row
Subscribe.
Wrestling.
Subscribe. Subscribe. Power to the people.